Right. Right. What am I doing? Here we go. Okay. Yeah. Welcome. Hi. I'm Martin. Welcome to the Condition Bleeding broadcast. Let me know if you can hear me okay. I'm still sort of figuring out the audio settings. I might be quiet. But yeah. We're doing a bit of testing today. So it's probably going to be a slightly shorter stream. I'm sort of like experimenting a bit with like this hand cam setup. Do you sound okay? Okay. So as it is now, with the music, is it okay? Cool. Okay, cool. Thank you. Right. Yeah. So what are we doing? Basically, hold on. I'm just looking over because I realized that my chat is kind of broken. I've been having some issues. I think so I was trying to use a custom font with Stream Elements with the overlay, and it's really struggling to save it for some reason. So let me see if I can just update that real quick. Yeah, it says enable custom font. If I save it, will it update? 1 second. No. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. I need to re-add the source. Yeah, so this stream might be a bit scuffed. We'll see. We'll see how things go. Okay, let's try that again. Alright, that will do. Might be a little wet in terms of position, but hopefully that's okay. Right. Okay, so now that's out of the way. Hello. So like I was saying, the idea for today's stream is kind of just to experiment a bit with like this hand cam setup. We got this minor project that may or may not take like a couple hours to do. That is, if I succeed. We'll see. Yeah, a couple of things since the last stream. I thought I would point it out because it was a bit of a rookie mistake, a bit of an embarrassing thing. But the clock now works properly. I noticed that because of the Swatch internet calculation works, it's currently an hour ahead of my local time zone, which means that correction when calculating the Swatch internet time was done for the time but not for the date. So there was an hour gap during the last stream where it still showed the previous day's date. I just wanted to point that out. It annoyed me. It got immortalized in the shout out tweet that Chindix put out. I was like, wait a minute, that's not the right date. Anyway, so that should be fine now. And then yeah, we'll see how it goes. I can already tell. Let me just show you. Because I tweeted about this yesterday as I was setting it up, but so at that point, you know, I like this is kind of okay, but I can already tell that it's going to need some improvements as well. So it looks a bit out of focus. I think that's probably due to the camera's like weird focal range, because it focuses much closer than I remembered. So I might need to do a bit of either replace the camera itself. This is a Logitech C920, or I might just need to like modify it, put like an extra lens in front of it or something. I might need to do a bit of more tinkering. But yeah, so basically what I'm doing today, the idea, I've got two of these cameras, which these are Mavica FD90s. So these are floppy disk cameras. All right, so they use a hold on. They write your photos onto floppy disks. These are some of the these are slightly later models, so that you could get an adapter that had a where you could put in a Sony memory stick, which I think was expensive then. It's still expensive today. I'm probably not gonna bother. So you know, theoretically you can take, I think it was like up to 1.6 megapixel images with this. That would probably be interpolated into some kind of like weird algorithmic like upscaling thing. But you know, typically like one of these cameras, you would take like VGA resolution, like, you know, like 640 by 480 photos, and you would be able to like fit, I don't know, maybe like I mean, if you're gonna do the memory stick, you're not gonna get the floppy disk camera in the first place. Yeah, pretty much. So this was like a weird holdover, I guess, where it was like memory stick was kind of like being introduced, and like Sony were pushing it really hard because they loved proprietary formats at the time, and so like, you know, they were still giving people the option to use floppy disks if they wanted to, but then, you know, if you wanted to record, so for example this one also supports video, so you can record movies with it if you want. For that kind of stuff you would need a memory stick, right? And so yeah, because like a typical like one of the older Mavicas, you know, that was limited to VGA resolution, you would be able to take like maybe 20-30 pictures onto a single drive, a single disc. So, you know, it was pretty decent, like, considering, because that's you know, more or less the same number of shots that you would be able to put on like a film camera or something, and you can have multiple floppy disks. So it was like okay at the end of the day, you know, like shitty pictures because it was like very early digital camera technology, but you know, it is what it is. And so yeah, so basically what happens with this one is that it's got a drive, the floppy drive seems to not recognize disks. So if I turn it on, you might be able to see. Let's see if I can get it to focus. Yeah, so it just says no disk, right? So if I try to take a picture, it just beeps. You might not be able to hear that actually. I don't know if I, hold on. No, I would need to turn the like, filter off. I can show you maybe if I just label this for a second. All right. So yeah, it's a, you know, it's a bit busted, which is a shame because it's a very nice condition camera. It's very clean, very, you know, very nice. On the other hand, I have this other one, which I might need to swap the battery. I only have one at the moment. Right. So this other camera works quite well, as far as I can tell, but it's incredibly nasty. Like it's so gross. You might be able to see that it's got like a weird sort of liquid sort of like thing in between the various layers of the LCD. It smells like tobacco. It's gross. It's very gross, right? So what I was thinking is, yeah, quite disgusting, really. So what I was thinking was basically, maybe, because I have a problem with these. Like I seem to just like, I've ended up collecting so many of them for just like no particular reason, just like going on eBay. I was like, oh, that's like £5 or something. I might as well just pick it up. And then I just end up with like a bunch of cameras that are in like very questionable condition, because they're all untested, because no one has the batteries for them or the charger, or no one has floppies anymore, right? So they can't, or they don't bother. Right. So what I was thinking is, because I've worked with, I've opened an FD7, which was the very first Mavica before. I figured I could collect enough parts from 5 cameras. Well, that's the thing. So, and this is like a, you know, a character trait or a character flaw. This is something that I like, you know, I'm very guilty of, where I like collecting like old tech, but I like it to be nice and, you know, as good condition as possible. And I often just go out of my way and like pick up multiples of things just so that I can combine them, right? So that's basically what was my reasoning here. I was like, okay, what if, you know, what if I just take the drive that works from the shitty gross Mavica, put it into the new one, you know, like the clean one, and then, you know, I can hopefully just finally get rid of the crusty one or something. Because yeah, it really is quite gross. Yeah, so I've done a little bit of prep, not a whole lot, but, you know, I figured I'd just like wing it. So I've got some printouts. I don't know how well you will be able to see it, but I've got some printouts from the service manual. So the way that it works, it's basically built in 2 parts. I don't know, that might not be very visible. But basically the back shell that has the screen on it and some of the buttons and everything is part of one assembly, and then it's connected to the front half, which is another sort of large assembly, and I think it's basically all connected with a single ribbon connector. There are going to be quite a few more ribbon cables to remove from the drive itself, so that might be a bit more involved, but we'll see. So yeah, and then yeah, it's just like a sort of like a self-contained like floppy drive that you just take it out, you know, put it back in, but hopefully, fingers crossed. So yeah. Also, I noticed that the frame rate is not great on the camera, but you know, it is what it is. So how do we want to go about this? I think I'm going to start by taking apart the let's see. Okay, let's start with the clean one. Because if I mess up the drive, at least I will have the other one that still works, if that makes sense. We'll see. So I'm gonna leave the cap on, and then I've got a number of screws.
AU.
AU. Hi, Joe. I think you need to, if you want to do the John Madden AEIOU, you might need to separate them. Oops, shit. So that's 2, 3.
John Madden Football Sports. Sports.
Sports?
AEIOU.
Nice. Okay. Here. So thankfully these are all the same so far. I'll make sure they kind of label things properly if needed. More here. we're in. Just budget. Okay. This one.
Game over.
Okay, right. So that's the back, right? Hopefully I don't need to do anything with this, because yeah, I assume if it's anything like the other one that I took apart, all the sort of switches and all the various things that are spring mounted are, you know,
We're just normal men.
just
We're just innocent men.
yeah, that's right. Right, okay, so now what we have here basically is the drive assembly here. Again, I'll keep trying to kind of like, I don't know. Okay, that's definitely not visible. I had as a backup, hold on, I had a little thing from, I've got the PDF version, which I don't know, hopefully this is a bit more visible. Yeah, so basically what we have here is this FC72 board. I guess this is kind of like the main, one of the main boards that is then attached to the floppy drive itself, and then the floppy drive goes in. So all of these ribbon connectors just kind of like loop around and come in. So like you'll see like, hold on, like all of these, right? So yeah, I guess you just like take those out, take the drive out. Also, the manual says, no, it's okay, you're fine, Joe. Yeah, the manual says wear an anti-static wrist strap, but that's for cowards. So I'm touching the radiator every now and then. Okay. Right. So here we go. We've got, let's see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 harness bits of harness. Oh, okay. When I originally decided to do this, I think I was way too optimistic, because the old one was way simpler. It only really had like one ribbon connector that connected the two halves, so I was like very optimistic about it. I think this is kind of like getting into the area where like slightly more modern. Sure, static was going to kill these. Yeah, it probably would have. So I don't know. Yeah, so this is kind of like getting a bit closer to that era of like sort of more modern cameras, right? Where like, I mean, obviously nowhere near as extreme, but like if you look at, you know, what a modern digital camera looks like, you know, like a full frame you know, thing. Like Linus Tech Tips had a video about like them trying to, I think it was like an E7, like an Alpha 7 full frame digital camera, and like they went into like way too much trouble to try to kind of like fix it, and like it's just fucking, it's mechanical gore. It's disgusting. It's so complicated. It's got like this harness just kind of like looping around everywhere. It's just like this you know, massive ribbon cables. So I mean, obviously, yeah, this is not as bad, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm just trying to work out what kind of connectors these are, so I don't break anything immediately. It's okay. Is okay. Yeah, they have a bit of a an illustration in the manual showing sort of like how you're supposed to remove them, but I'm not sure that I can get my tweezers in there quite. Okay, that works. Yeah, that's much better. So they're not like well, okay, so these ones are not ribbon connectors, but they've got like 2 little tabs on the side, and you can kind of just like get some leverage on there. These ones on the other hand, did they just pull out? No. I don't know if you, oh yeah, you might not be able to see them. So it's got like these ones. Yeah. But don't seem to have any sort of like tabs that you can just pull immediately. So we'll see. Make sure the flat cable and flexible board are not cracked or bent. Do not insert the cable insufficiently or crookedly. Cut and remove the part. Oh, that's different if it does get damaged. So yeah, I don't know. I am just gonna go ahead and pull these. Yeah, give them a pull. See if they come out. Okay, they don't seem to. What if? Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, no, so they do just come out. They've got, okay, so, right. So oh, hold on. Ooh. There's a bit of delay, so I'm struggling to frame it. So the cables themselves, focus. Okay. Oh, here we go. So the cables themselves have like these little like plastic tabs, I think, glued onto them. They just have like some kind of reinforcement, and they kind of extend beyond where the cable is. So you can kind of like just put your tweezers in there, and you just pull. Which is a bit nerve-wracking, to be honest. I feel like they could have done it better, but you know, who am I to judge? There's another one here that I think just kind of. Oh. Yeah, they literally don't have any sort of like clamps or anything. They just like pressure fit, just like plugged in there, which is probably much easier to take out than put back in, which is a bit concerning, but you know, we'll see. So, and with that, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 2 more one of which is on the other side. Okay, and there's this one. This one right here. It's a bit, I don't know. I think I can just kind of pull on this one. I think it just goes like up. I can't really see any other way of taking it out. Hopefully I didn't just yank the whole connector out. And then, yeah, I assume there's another one on the bottom, or like on the other side of the board, that I'm probably just going to have to remove the board first. Or board 4 first. So, let me see. 4 screws, M2 2.5. Okay. Little hook there. I'm gonna remember this. Might not be able to see it quite, but there's basically like this plate has a couple like overhanging little hooks, so where the board kind of fits in. Right. Already. But yeah, let me know, because my preview at the moment is pretty small, so if things are like way out of focus and it's really hard to tell what's going on, let me know, because yeah, I'll bear that in mind for future. Okay, well, I think I'm just gonna leave this one dangling. Like, I don't want to risk yanking those cables. Alright, so we've got this other plate that is also screwed in, and we've got the drive itself underneath. Which, in and of itself, I'm not sure how it's attached. Maybe it just... Oh, okay, that doesn't. Okay, alright. We'll see. Just move these. I've got one. This is the Umurangi Generation soundtrack. I thought it was fitting. Hopefully it's considered, video game music, and it doesn't get DMCA'd immediately. We'll see. I used a like one of those jungle and DMB mixes, from like PlayStation games or whatever. Like Roland Krishanov, I think that's how you pronounce it. And I was under the impression that it would be like super safe, and one of the tracks got flagged anyway, so I need to be a bit more careful. I think I was originally, it is Jungle Tuesday after all. I was going to set up like audio splitting so that there is one track that doesn't show up in the VOD, only in local recordings. But I figured that, you know, if it was gonna be like DMCA safe, I would just leave it on so that people who are experiencing, you know, who are watching the VOD potentially, you know, can still get it. So I don't know. We'll see. I am now recording locally as well. So eventually, if I do set up like a VOD YouTube channel or something, I'll just archive it there. Right. So taking this plate out. There's 3 screws. And then we've got the floppy drive, which again doesn't seem to have sort of like. Oh yeah, no, it just like comes out. Or does it? Yeah, no, it does. Okay. Yeah. All right. Easy enough. Okay. So that's the drive that I don't need. And then everything else, hopefully, is still intact, and I can put it back together. So I'm gonna set this all aside for a minute, and I'm gonna do the same process to get the drive out of the nasty one. Okay. So. All right. Okay. We'll do that again. That's one. Anyway, how's everyone doing? What have you been up to today? Oh yeah. Also, that reminds me. Oh God, I can already tell that it's kind of like some of the clips and things are just kind of like rusty. Okay. Oh yeah, I was gonna say. So in kind of like setting up for this, or like doing the research and looking for manuals and things, I came across a really funny forum post that maybe we can look at if I have enough time left over. Come on. That might have been a bad idea. Oh well, whatever. Should remove the other side. Yeah, so basically I came across this basically this review of I think it was the FD91, which was an older model, reasonably high end. I think it was like one of the better ones in of that generation of Mavicas. I think Joe, I think, is the one that Rob's got right now. But basically, it was like this. It was like this review by you know, like photographer basically, and it was just really quaint because it was kind of like written from the point of view of someone who uses like cameras professionally, and it was like because this was like high end stuff, right? So the MSRP for this was like $700 or something at the time, and so he would like compare it to 35mm film cameras of the time, which is silly. Like, obviously it's not going to be as good, but if this is your only point of comparison. And so he was like, oh, hi Elliot. But yeah, so he was like, dismissing like digital cameras completely, because this is what, like, if this is the best that digital cameras can offer, right? And so like he couldn't conceive of anything that would be comparable to a 35mm. And it was like the same kind of like argument that you see with with people. Like he brought up the comparison of like vinyl versus CDs and stuff, where like, oh, but digital audio can't be as good as vinyl because it's all just like sampled, And I was like, oh, that's wrong, but cute, I guess. I don't know. And then the comments were just like filled with people sort of like asking technical questions about their various Mavicas that didn't work. I mean, like, look, I listen to vinyl, I collect vinyl, I like it, and like it does sound different, but I wouldn't say that it sounds better, right? It's just a different sound signature, and like if you wanted to, you could still just digitize vinyl and it would sound like vinyl, even though it's a digital recording. So it's like it's like the whole sort of like argument that like vinyl elitists, I guess, would have had back in the day of like, oh, but because it's digital, you're introducing stair stepping in or whatever the fuck, that's not how it works. So like, there was that was it like ziff.org video? They had like a couple videos on digital audio that I always recommend to people. Was it like Monty Montgomery, I think, has like a really in-depth video where he like basically took like the lowest possible grade of like old consumer grade equipment, and he demonstrated how there's like virtually no loss of quality when you digitize a signal, something like that. So he basically went from like an analog signal to digital and then back to analog, and then just compare the two. It's really cool, really informative. I'll find it in a little bit. Okay, what am I doing here? Yeah, speaking of vinyl, they recently announced that the Kero Kero Bonito re-releasing the first album on vinyl and cassette and CD and a bunch of other formats today. So something to look forward to if you like them. Great job keeping this framed. Can't really see what I'm doing otherwise. Okay. So this is the drive that does work. So, and this is all crusty. And that's the one I do need. This is the drive that doesn't work. It seems to have a well, I don't know. I'm not gonna ascribe anything to it. It does have like a like a Sharpie or like permanent marker like marking on there. I don't know if that was supposed to be like an exclamation mark or just like 2 dots or something, but I wonder if someone's been in there already. Okay. So the idea is to basically take this and just pop it back in. Theory. So but yeah, I was saying I got a bit distracted, but yeah, so the whole point about that Mavica review and the sort of related discussions or technical questions that people had was that there was a ton of drama in the comments, because basically, you know, people were sort of asking for help with their various Mavicas that they had dropped and stopped working, or they took out on a cold day and they just basically stopped working, or wait, hold on. Oh, these go on the other side. Or did they? Second. Right? And so, it being sort of like the early to mid 2000s, you know, I guess, people just kind of like were popping in to kind of like chill, you know, like, advertise their small sort of camera repair businesses of like, hey, send it to me, you know, and I will replace the drive for you or something. And then like, it's much easier to just swap out the drive than to take the drive apart and clean it and maybe fix it, you know, fix the drive itself. So like, why don't you send it to me, you know, and I'll do that for you. And then like someone else would come in and say, hey, this is bullshit, I will do it for way less. And it was just like really funny to read. So it's just a bit of hauntology. Okay, so that does, hold on. These two go on the other side, yeah. That's as far as I can push them. 1 hour. Hi, welcome in, Shindix. How you doing? Oh God. Okay. Yeah. Well, so I currently have 2 disassembled cameras. I am in the process of installing the drive back into the other one. But yeah, we'll see if this works. Okay. I think I should have paid more attention to how this was taped down, but I am sort of increasingly convinced that the camera that doesn't have, or that didn't have a working drive, I think someone had opened it already, because these 2 sort of bundles here were much better taped on the other one, which actually I might be able to just grab that piece. I don't know that I really need it. Probably just squeeze this in anyway. Alright, well, never mind. Oh yeah, also, of course, sorry. Shout out Shinix. Doing some, as always, really cool shit. I was talking to some of you in chat that sort of like I know in the meet space. I was talking to in Discord about the like vibration setup, which is like incredible chat interaction. So Shindix has this set up now. I look, it's really funny. I really enjoy it. And I'm you know, I'm impressed that you just did it without realizing or without knowing what a left sense is. But yeah, no, it's cool stuff. So it's basically got a setup where you can, if you hook up your vibration enabled controller to your computer and open a website, he can control the vibration of your controller remotely. So like, you know, you can use it for music production and have it like vibrate to the rhythm, or like play games. Does left? I think so. I'm sure there's like also there's like a whole market for like stellar dildonics, right? Like surely you can do like things like that to kind of like enable long distance relationships and whatever. I don't know. Okay, so oh, this is going to be a nightmare already, I can tell. So it's let me show you. So these ribbon connectors that we quite easily open source software. Okay. Oh, for like controlling various vibration enabled devices, I mean. Yeah, so basically, hold on, you might be able to see like these ribbon connectors were pretty easy to pull out because they have like those little like tabs, right, where you can just get your tweezers in and just yank on them. But for some reason, the other side, so like the outer side of the connector, is chamfered. So I don't know if you're meant to kind of like push it back in the same way that you pulled it out, but I feel like that just makes it unnecessarily difficult. I don't know how else you would do it. So, no, Jesus. Because this is exactly the kind of thing that botplug.io. Oh, of course, it's the ultra kill thing. Yes, of course. Fair enough. That makes sense. Well, you know, official. All right, okay. Let's rewind. I'm gonna take the board out. I might be able to do it much more easily if I hold it. But yeah, no, like, I mean, you know, there was the whole res I was about to say the fucking res support or like res vibration thing. Extremely funny to me as well. Okay. Take these out again. But yeah, there was the like. I mean, I'm still waiting. Oh, that lurker. Hello, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So like the res thing was really funny because like the trans vibration controller is just such an incredible concept. I was just sort of like having a look around on eBay. I was like, maybe I could just like pick one up for cheap. I don't know how much they go for. And I came across this listing where like the advertise or like the person selling it was basically saying like, you know, I'm selling this controller. It's a very good condition. I was too embarrassed to use it. No game included. Which is really funny, because you know it's ultimately just like a little vibration box that you connect, you know, hook up to your PS2 and then you sit on, I guess, to enhance the experience of playing Res. So like, oh Jesus Christ, okay. Can't be that expensive to get some feet. Oh, they must have known. I am genuinely just baffled by how you're supposed to like. Oh, there we go. Okay, so that's one. This one's going to be difficult because it doesn't have the tabs. Okay. I don't know if I'm like damaging these by bending them in the result in the process, but like I literally don't know how else. Oh wait, hold on. I might be able to see it. I don't know. But like I don't know how else you would like squeeze them back in. Don't have any of the tweezers handy, so. Ugh. Man, fucking fuck ribbon cables. All my homies hate ribbon cables. It's even more annoying because like the server's manual is like super specific about it. It's like, be careful, don't push them, you know, don't put pressure on this side, don't bend them, don't do whatever the fuck with whip ribbon. Possibly. The problem with bib ribbon is that it's very dark, so I would need to change the lighting. So the thing about especially the JVC monitor is that because of that film on it or on the tube, it can get kind of like hazy and like low contrast when there's a lot of light. It looks much better with the lights turned off, but then obviously like the rest of the setup doesn't work quite as well because you can't see the frames or the rest of the thing. So potentially, you know, like I could just say like, all right, we're gonna play like Vib Ribbon now, so I'm just gonna turn off the lights, and then, you know, people just have to deal with that. But like, yeah, it's quite noticeable. Like this is kind of like a balance between, you know, like a aesthetic, like sort of like good looking setup, and something that looks good on the screen as well. Like you know, something where the screen looks good itself. But I might be able to demonstrate later. I can show you. I can pull up like the like splash screen, you know, like the standby screen, and like turn the lights off. So this is the point where we find out whether I've messed up the order of operations completely, because these might be a bit tricky to push in. It's very difficult to not do the thing they tell you not to do. In order to like position it, you kind of like have to push on. There we go. Okay. Right. So in theory, maybe this one can go in a bit more. There we go. Okay. 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 Question is, I might be able to just... I don't think there's anything special about this tape. I reckon I can probably just like take a piece of gaffer tape, right? That would do probably. Let's see. Oh yeah. At the risk of going on another tangent, I'm a fucking gaffer tape elitist. So, ProGaff, sponsor me. Send me free gaffer tape. Because it's very expensive otherwise. It's like one of those things where like people will refer to like duct tape as gaffer tape, even though like gaffer tape is a very, very specific thing. It's like a pet peeve of mine. Because this is like very specifically designed for like, I think mostly like stage applications and things like that. I should get a free roll per week, yeah. Like this is like, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's not like that expensive, but it's like a 10 per roll or something. But yeah, like this is like, I think very specifically designed for like stage applications and things like that, where like if you need to tie down, gaffer means electrician. Yeah. Well, wait, hold on, what? Gaffer just means electrician. Aerospace, that's just duct tape, really. Yeah. Well, the duct tape thing is a whole other separate thing, right? Because it was originally meant to be duck, as in DUCK tape, and then just people understood that to be duct tape because it on the surface makes more sense, but it was never really meant to be used on duct, right? I don't know if that's apocryphal or if that's like an actual thing. But yeah, so like this is the kind of stuff that you would use on like a stage production, because it's like very easy to rip. You can just like, you know, just straight rip like a piece with your hands. It leaves no residue. It's matte, so like even in like film, I guess. So like if you want to sort of like cover up a brand or something on like a camera or like a some kind of a device that appears on screen or something, you know, you can just put this on there and it's like mostly invisible. And like, yeah, it's like cool shit. Most of like so much of this setup is just like fixed down, you know, like taped down with this kind of shit so that it just doesn't move. Right. Okay, so I think this is mostly done. So I'm just gonna try to attach gaffer means electrician, tape means tape. That's another tricky one, I think, because so basically this one is kind of like the ribbon cable sits at a very weird angle. Like it's significantly longer, but it's in order to sort of like put it in without bending it too much, you kind of like have to hold it in a weird position. But thankfully this connector does have like a sort of like a retaining clip, so it should be relatively easy to kind of as soon as, or as long as you've pushed it back, if you pushed it in all the way, you can just kind of like clamp it down. This was this was the crucial last step that I messed up on the FD7 when I was putting it together. I broke the clip, but I just blew it. It still works, but it's just a bit precarious. Not a very elegant solution. So, I'm hoping that's far in, you know. I don't know if it will focus. Okay, maybe not. Yeah, but that's good enough. So now, in theory, oh no, I got that. I got the screws from the two cameras mixed up, so I'm gonna need to like see which ones are the least nasty. They literally have like this like gross like white powder on them. Like I don't know if that's some kind of corrosion or just dirty. All right. Okay. So, in theory, that should be a working camera. Let me see. All right. Moment of truth. Okay. Yeah. 1st of January 2000. No disc. Oh. Oh. Oh yeah. Recording. Oh great. Terrible fucking picture. Yo, you can't even see it. It's so blown out. Hold on, let me turn the flash off. Oh yeah, let's go. Let's go. Okay. Oh wait, hold on. Oh, you might still not be able to see that. Hold on. Can I? What if I? Oh no, if I turn it back on, let's see first. Okay, bear with me. Okay. It may be that the metering is way off. It does work. Well, the drive does. We'll see if I need to hold on. Also, yeah, let me just show you what it sounds like because it's really funny as well. I'm gonna need to pause this. If I remove the filter from the mic. I don't know if you could hear that. Yeah. This is one of the like fastest drives that they had. This is a 4X drive, so it doesn't go bzz for nearly as long as some of the other ones did. But it's still really funny. Right. Okay. Well, I just took a picture. Let me show you. I took a picture with the lens cap on, and this is what it looks like. So I'm starting to think that there's something else wrong with this camera. I might need to do like a follow up or something. I might need to move more things over from the other one. But the drive works. So I don't know if maybe it's worth having a look inside the other drive. Don't know how like that is a big stout. It could be the sensor. I don't know. I don't know enough about the hardware to be able to tell what's going on. It just seems like. Let me see, because you can adjust the exposure level. So let me see if I can just do like some exposure correction or like compensation. Because like it looks fine. It looks fine when you're using it like in the regular sort of like viewfinder mode, right? But then as soon as you take the picture, it might not be. Let's see. Yeah, yeah, that's what I get. But you can't even see it. It's like completely blown out. So it might be something completely different. It might just be like a completely unrelated hardware issue. Yeah. All right. Okay. So the question is it worth Because as far as I can tell, right, the actual sort of most of the hardware, right, is on this sort of like middle board. So what I could potentially do is just replace this as well. So I can maybe. I mean, it's gonna be a pain because I would need to again like deal with all of the ribbon cables, but there's one fewer step than so far than what I've done so far. Maybe I'll just push it. Got a few more hours really. I don't know if this is like entertaining. Let me know if it's not, but you know, hopefully, having done this essentially twice already, I'm hoping that I can just do it quicker. But yeah, so with regards to the sensor being fucked, I suspect that the sensor itself is fine. It must be some kind of like a, you know, like image processing issue. Because as far as I know, because I think you mentioned this to me, Joe, I think, about like where they got these sensors from, right? Because I mean, this was like early days of digital photography, so they didn't have like the, you know, like dedicated sort of like sensor manufacturing, or like, you know, they didn't have like purpose built or designed sensors for these cameras, so they just like repurposed them from something else. I forget what the whole story was. Oh, that's right. That's right. That's other people. Okay. But like, yeah. So basically, the way that these work, largely is by showing you a real-time sort of like viewfinder, you know, view of what's on screen, and then when you take a picture, it basically just freeze frames. You know, it just does a freeze frame and just records whatever is currently on screen. So it's kind of like, as long as what you're seeing on the screen is okay, you know, you should kind of be able to take a decent picture. Okay, so what I didn't stop to consider is that this board. Oh no, that's still a connector. Okay, so it should be possible to pull it out. It's just like very snug. But like there's this connector that earlier I just didn't bother pulling out because it looked difficult. But if I'm gonna replacing the board, I would have to do it. To make sense of it, I wonder if it would be easier to just take it apart a bit further and disconnect the cables on the other side. I would probably need to try with the other one. Oh, because it's connected. So this is connected to the basically like the flash assembly. Caution. For continued protection against fire, replace only with same rating fuse. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay. The connector on the other side is the exact same as the one on the board, so never mind. Let's see. I don't even know how you would go about that. Okay, here we go. A bit easier than I thought it would be. Alright, so we got this board that is also, I guess, questionable. We'll see. I'm gonna grab the other board from the other camera and basically just replace it as well.
Hello. Tariq here, once again.
DJ
Boy,
Tariq.
This album is well and great and all. But Tariq makes some dank beats too.
That's right.
And I wish to. Shut up. Do not sing. This is Tariq time. I wish to show them to you. So here, my mixtape, aka beach tape. Enjoy.
I don't know how many of you have played Mavica Generation, but huge recommendation. DJ Tariq is a cybernetically enhanced dolphin that plays in a bunker that has been converted into a nightclub. It's a whole thing.
Tariq, in the house once more. I bet you are digging this. I sure am. Bitch tape.
Okay.
Bitch tape.
This is just as nerve-wracking as it was the first time around.
Sometimes it is hard to be a dolphin, especially one with an Australian accent. No one likes Australians' accents. People are
Like
very
Aussie
racist.
accents.
Bitch tape. Wow. That was such a lovely experience. Now it's back to Adolf. Not Hitler. But no Murat. A very unfortunate name indeed. Bitch.
I do appreciate that. It's like, you know, would probably suck to be called Adolf. Like, out of all of the possible first names that you can have, right? No one has like one person that you would be compared to or associated with.
Borzoi.
Borzoi. Can I get a nonkus? All right.
Bingo.
Bingo.
The Nonkus.
Perfect. Thank you.
The dog who is so angry he cannot move. He cannot eat. He cannot sleep. He can just barely growl. Bound so tightly with tension and anger, he approaches the state of rigor mortis.
Oh my god. Can you, Joe, can I get the samoyed dog? I wanna hear the TikTok TTS read it out. It's not the same without the Bernie accent, but you know.
Bernie Sanders' voice a Samoyed. A Samoyed dog. A Samoyed is just a friendly snow wolf who likes to cuddle and likes to howl and work as well.
Okay, that's alright. He does like to howl. Alright, moment of truth number 2. I feel like I was kind of an autopilot that time, so I'm hoping that I didn't fuck up anything else that I didn't, you know, first time around. But let's see. Yeah. Okay. It still reads it. Oh no. No, I can already. Oh, wait, hold on. Maybe it was the flash, but I suspect that there's something else fucked with it. Oh, come on. Oh. Turn it off. Format error. Okay.
Well, I'm gonna.
All right. Let me just. I suspect that whoever used this. Well, I don't know. I'm just gonna format the disk. Maybe because they had it set to like 1280, which I guess is like the absolute highest quality pictures that you can take. Which, if you try to write that onto a floppy, you can probably take like 1 or 2. I don't know. So just lowered it back down. Oh, come on. All right. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe you can see it. It's gonna be too bright, but it's got like all sorts of like lines going across the screen, and it's all just completely blown out. So I suspect there's something else wrong with it, which is unfortunate. But you know. Because what else? What else is there?
I hear it's amazing when the famous purple stuffed worm in Flapjaw space with the tuning fork does a raw blink on Harakiri Rock. I need scissors. 61.
61. Thank you. Lens block assembly. What's the lens block assembly have on it? No one should have this power. Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't have any way to sort of like limit it. I could potentially have a timeout, like a cooldown on it, but like it, you know, whenever I hit affiliate, I'll probably just put like I'll make it like a channel point redeem or something, which, you know, still like, I don't wanna crack down on it because I do think it's funny, but I'm trying to like make sense of the manual to see like what other possible boards might be fucked. But like it doesn't really say what does what. Because there is like a sort of like a self-contained camera like zoom unit thing, and then the sensor just goes on a separate daughter board within that lens block. Because the other thing that I can maybe think of is like, well, that would be a bit less simple than I originally thought, that I originally planned for. But I could potentially just rehouse the entire camera, so just keep the internals of the old one, or the you know, the dirty one that does work, or that used to work at least. I don't know if I fucked it up, you know, now. And then just transfer that into the new shell. But that's probably beyond the scope of this stream. So I don't know. Partial success, I think. Maybe we can call it that. It might be copium. But you know. I don't know if there was anything else. I'll probably do a bit more digging. I don't think I'll subject you to me like taking it apart once again. But I think I might just have a look at it in my own time and see if I can just you know, just transfer everything and post about it then on Twitter or something. But yeah. I think that pretty much does it. I don't know if anyone was interested, perhaps in the in that review. I can bring it up just real quick, just for shits and giggles. Let me see if I have it. I can just if we wanna do look back, you know, do a bit of hauntology, you know, of 1998. Let's see. It all went over my head, but I still enjoyed listening. Well, I'm glad. Thank you for for dropping by, and just hanging out. Lurkers are also welcome. What am I trying to do? Oh yeah, I wanted to see if I can maybe color correct this. It really is a shame that text especially looks kind of scuffed on this. Let's see if is that legible? Maybe. Yeah, looks about right. Not this one. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so look at this shit, right? So Sony Mavica FD91. So this was in 1998. MSRP $699, which again, this is a camera that takes pictures onto a floppy disk. You can take up to maybe 30 pictures, 640 by 40 resolution, just dog shit photos, right? But I guess it was the best they had, and so surprises in life are fun, unexpected, very pleasant surprises are enough to be a real treat. The FD71 has been such a pleasant surprise and so much fun that I can no longer imagine not having one. My wife has spent some time as a professional photographer, so when the time came to buy a digital camera for her, I knew not just any one would do. After months of investigation, discovered two things. First, I became very wary of computer product reviewers who touted the camera they reviews as the next great thing in the beginning of a review, only to list so many problems that the product in the latter part of the review that I couldn't imagine buying one. Second, I learned that no matter how good a digital camera is, a decent 35mm film camera will outperform it, hands down. Much like the argument that CDs can never sound as good as a decent LP, due to the inherent digital sampling of an analog product, digital images are nothing more than sampled pixels of a real image. I decided to center my search on two criteria: ease of use and battery life. Which actually, side note, the battery life is actually really cool. It does have a really good battery life. It's really funny that instead of giving you like a percentage or like number of shots remaining or anything like that, it just basically gives you a time in minutes, or like hours maybe. I forgot. I don't remember. But like it's measured in time rather than anything else, because I guess like ultimately, you just it's just the like when you record a picture, it is basically just like a freeze frame. So like however long, yeah, it says 60 minutes remaining on this one. Right, but I guess that's kind of like the determining factor. Like it's like constantly recording, and then yeah. So yeah, look at that. 330,000 pixels, 10 times optical zoom. Was it? Oh, here we go. Yeah, it's got like standard fine settings, JPEG compression. You can email things. Using the FD71 is a snap. Take a floppy full of photos, 15 to 40 depending on flash mode, exposure, etc. Copy them to your hard drive and view them in the graphic converter browser mode. On-screen controls take a little getting used to. Small buttons invite an occasional oops. This bit as well. Like the 2.5-inch LCD screen is the viewfinder where you frame your shots and view photos after they're taken. If you don't like a particular shot, you can simply erase it from the screen and try another. You You can erase a photo immediately after it's taken. There was a note somewhere. Oh, I misremember. There was a note somewhere else. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I have 2 criticisms of the Mavica. I find the LCD screen as a viewfinder takes some getting used to. Unlike a 35mm camera, you must hold the camera away from you to frame your photo, and you sometimes get a larger image than you framed. If this camera had a through the lens viewfinder, it would be an absolute winner. Which is really funny, because like, I feel like it's the exact opposite nowadays with people just, you know, kind of getting used to just using the screen as a viewfinder on like a phone or like even, you know, compact digital camera. Yeah. And then yeah, is that the Rockwell logo? Are these like literal just fucking Rockwell chips? I don't know. Maybe some of the like aerospace nerds can confirm. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, no, I just thought that was like really quite quaint. Just wanted to show you. And then yeah, basically like the comments, you end up with like all of this kind of shit where it's like, I have the same problem as so and so. I keep getting this error. Please help. You know, doesn't work. Found the most amazing repair service. Go to mavicaservice.homestead.com. Oh, I forget where it was. Go like way down. Oh, no, not that one. Mavica Medic. Oh well, I don't know. I'm probably not going to subject you to all of this. But yeah, it's really funny because it's like people would just like, you know, yeah, I'll say replace the drive first time hack. If it's got lots of hours, all have, and the camera will work the next decade. Customer will be happy. Name of the game is happy customer, and then like. Oh yeah, Cameron, I'd rather pay someone $60 to clean the switch and take my chances than I would to part with 150. But that's just me. I'm a cheap bastard. Thanks anyway. And like, it's just the rule of thumb, and in the end, my repairs will last and won't see your face with the same unit again. And then yeah, it's just people are arguing. Let's recap, shall we? Just like, fucking drop it, Cameron. Yeah. Anyway. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. I just thought it was really funny. But yeah. Right. I think I've pretty much run out of things to do. I will probably follow up about this later on. I think I will keep working on it. So kind of a success. I don't know. The original idea was to kind of like declutter, and I feel like I now have more clutter because I have a camera that I still need to kind of like put back together or figure something out. But you know, it is what it is. So yeah. I don't know if anyone has any questions or like you know, how does it look? Is it okay? Has it been like relatively easy to follow what was happening on screen? I know that framing it was a bit difficult, because I can't really get a good look at it from the top down, or sort of like from where I'm sitting. But hopefully it's like relatively easy to follow. I do want to sort of like mess around with the camera a little bit, see if I can get it to focus like further down, because at the moment this is like, I think this is kind of like the distance, the maximum distance where it like focus properly, and even then it takes a while. So I think I've seen people add what's it called, like diopter lenses, so like lens inserts that you would get for like drone headsets, you know, like the FPV sort of like first person camera things where if you wear glasses, you can just have like an insert. You don't have to like worry about them. So I might be able to just like 3D print like a holder for it and just like clip it onto the camera. Maybe. We'll see. But yeah. And then yeah, if there's nothing else, I think I might have a look around and see if we can raid someone. Oh yeah. Read message. What did we do last time? We did the siren thing. Deal with condition red. Oh, unable to rate. Oh no, error. Okay, well, let's maybe find someone else. I don't know why it's not. Why is it not working? That's interesting. What about? Can I raid the good Jared? Yeah. All right. Let's do that. Hank Hill VTuber, the good Jared. Grab the raid message. Yeah. Thank you for dropping by. I will probably be back on Saturday with more Ace Combat. So yeah, look forward to that. I'll probably post about it on Twitter again. I'll just shout it out in a few Discords. But yeah, have a good one. Thanks.
All right, that's fine by me.